If you own a Tesla Model 3 or Model Y, I guarantee that you will be in a situation where you will have to explain few things to your passengers, especially people who are interacting with the car for the first time. It can be your friends, family, someone who you see after a long time or once in a while, or even your partner. Now, partners will eventually get used to a lot of things, but still, what I'm trying to say is that you will be giving a few lessons to a lot of people, and this video, I want to share 10 tips that's going to make your life, as well as your passenger's life, much easier. Let's start with one of the most common questions people ask when they are interacting with your car for the first time. Model 3 and Model Y, as you know, that their handles are flush, and often people have hard time to figure it out how to open it. Now, it's really not that difficult. Pretty simple. You push and you open, you pull it like this, and you can literally do it with one hand. But I've seen a lot of time people need two hands, which is okay. You can use two hands, but just make sure to not use glass to open and close, or this section here, because I think this is plastic. If you need to use another hand, or if you want to open and close, use this area here, because this is metal and it's easy to clean. Yeah, the door is quite heavy and you don't want to open and close from the glass. So once again, push and pull. And then if you need another hand, or if you want to just change the grip, hold it from here. And once you're inside, obviously, this is the handle to close. Once you are inside the car, and this is really critical because your passenger needs to know right when they get into the car, and it's your job to make it clear that to open the door, you need to press this button right here. Okay? It's very different from 99% of the cars on the road, because every car has a lever or latch or some sort of other mechanics which is quite obvious. But in Tesla, there is a button. So often people think maybe this is for the window, but no, window control is down here, and they really don't even bother to even see the little icon here. Well, I don't blame your passengers. It's the way it is. The door is designed in such a way, and unfortunately the latch, an emergency latch, is right here. So a lot of people will, if you don't tell them, then they will directly go and try to open it by pulling this lever, and that's going to damage your door, because that is only for the emergency purposes. I wish you that Tesla could shift this somewhere at the bottom here, because I've had so many times, luckily so far no one has opened it, but I've seen people try to go almost to open the door. They always go here to open the door. So it's really important that you tell them to use the button to open the door from inside. Now, when you go at the back seat, you don't have to worry about it, because backseat doesn't have a emergency release here. So you really don't need to tell them. If they can't figure it out, it's okay. They're not going to damage the door. But it's the most important thing for the front passenger. You need to make it clear that you need to press the button to open the door. Let's look at the frunk. It's really important for your passengers who are going to drive your car, or let's say you're dropping someone at the station, and if they have their stuff in the front, it's really important for them to know how to close it properly. So opening is not an issue. You press the button inside and it will open, and you just need to lift. Once you take out your stuff, in order to close, all you need to do is gently put it down like this. Okay, you can use two hands to apply pressure on both the sides of the Tesla logo, or you can use just one hand and firmly push. That's it. All done. Tip number 3. If you want to unlock the car while you're still in driving seat, you need to make sure that you put the car in the park. Let me show you what I mean. Let's say you're driving and you're picking up your friend from a station or from the bus stop. Unlike other car, when you park the car for picking up someone or dropping off, you will unlock the car by just clicking on using a button which is normally on the driver side, on the driver door. But in Tesla, there's no button, which means that you will have to put the car in park in order for it to get unlocked. Then only person standing outside can use the door handle to open the door and get in. Let me show you real quick what I mean. All right, so let's say I'm going to park on the left. I'm picking up someone from here, put the indicator, go on the left. Put the car in the park. Now it's unlocked. The person gets in, and then you put on drive, and then you go. Tip number 4, helping your passengers while you're driving. Now, let's say if your passenger needs help with opening a glove box or heated seats or something, and you're driving, right? And it can be a bit difficult for you to focus on the screen and do something for your passenger while you're trying to focus on the road. So there are 2 ways to get around that issue. One is that you can wait for a good well-marked road and then put it on autopilot, and then you can go to the screen and, you know, or maybe with the climate control, and help them with the whatever they need to do. Open the glove box, pretty much anything. I'm not saying that you should not pay attention on the road, or you can take the hands off the wheel. Definitely not. It's just going to put you in more comfortable situation. Once the car on autopilot, you don't need to constantly adjust the steering, so you can at least rely for a few seconds on autopilot and try to assist your passenger. And that's what I do a lot of time without even passenger. Let's say if I want to do something with the car, or menus, or look for the radio station, I'll put it on autopilot, and then I'm a bit relaxed. I know that at least I won't get into a crash, most likely. Or you can use the voice command, open glove box, and you can use the same for heated seats, controlling the climate, and tons of other things. And I'll be making a separate video for all the cool voice commands that you can use, and that's really going to help you with your driving experience. Tip number 5, get a screen protector. If you have your partner with really long nails, or let's say if you regularly traveling with someone whose hands are dirty, and you don't want them to scratch your screen, then yes, definitely get the screen protector. And there are a number of different types of screen protector available in the market. I certainly don't have, and I'll tell you why I don't have it. I enjoy watching movies on this screen, and what I've noticed is that once you put the screen protector, the clarity, the crispness, the sharpness of the screen does get impacted a little bit. Now, I can be wrong, because maybe there is a screen protector in the market which literally makes no difference and also helps you protect the screen. Maybe there is. If there is such a thing, then yes, by all means go and get it. But I've seen in one of my friend's car, it definitely feels really good to have to protect the screen, but it just takes that little sharpness away. So imagine you're watching a movie in a 4K, and then you had to switch it to 1080. So you see what I'm trying to say? There's a little difference you will see after you put the screen protector. Tip number 6, saving the dashcam clip. Now, saving the dashcam clips you can automate that. You can set it to manual, you can set it to let's say if you honk, it will automatically save the clip, or you can have it on auto where it will just save it depending on the situation. So once I was driving and I smashed the brake really hard and it saved the clip. So it's not that only when you are into an accident then only it will save. No, that the car is recording all the time. And let's say if you notice something and if you want to record that particular clip, all you need to do is go to the menu and click here on the recording, and then it will say, that icon there, the green icon, it tells you that it's saving or it's downloading the recording. But yes, the car is almost every time you drive, it's recording all around. Now it's important that you also share this information with the passenger who are you going to travel regularly. In an unfortunate situation, if your passenger knows how to capture the things, then they can just go and do it rather than asking you or totally forgetting about it. Most of the time you can rely on Tesla to do that, but this is another tip that you and your passenger should know how to save the dash cam clips. You can remotely lock and unlock the car, so that's pretty cool. If you have your friend going to the car or your partner, they can just give you a call and you can just simply unlock. You can also start the car. Now I know that Tesla doesn't have a start button, but what I mean is that let's say you're on a holiday and you park your car on the street. Now for whatever reason the car needs to be moved. So what you can do is you can ask your friend, hey, can you please go to my home, let me know when you're there, I'm going to start the car, and then you can just simply move the car around. So that's a very cool feature that can make your life really easy. You don't have to hand over the keys to anyone anymore. You can just simply start the car using the app, unlock the car, and then you can lock the car as well. So it's a pretty handy feature. Tip number 8, giving your friends and family test drives and not letting that impact your personal settings. What I mean by that is that you definitely want to share how cool the car is, right? And you always want to show it to your friends, family, and even if you want to let them drive the car so that they can experience it themselves. What I've noticed is that when I've given test drive to my friends, they would obviously change the seat settings, the mirrors, and few things, and that basically overrides my settings. So what you need to do, you need to create a guest profile. So what that lets you do is that if you're going to give someone this car to drive, you can ask them to select the guest, or maybe you can select that profile for them, and then they can make changes to anything and it won't impact your profile. Tip number 9, parking in the shopping mall or anywhere. And it's really important because if you park it the wrong way and let's say something happens to your car, then you may not be able to capture the details on the dash cam. All right, let me give you an example. You park the car nose first, right? That means that anyone who's going to park on either side, left or right, you will be able to see their number plate when they park or when they leave, because the Tesla cameras, which records the dash cam or any events, are facing at backside. Okay, so what happens is if you park in reverse, let's say nose on the outside, then there's a good chance that when person who's parking next to you, they can just park in and park out, and you won't be even able to capture their number plate. So this is really helpful, and it has happened to a lot of people where they can see in the camera that someone just bumped their door or the shopping trolley to their car, but unfortunately they can't do anything about it, or they even go to the police or the insurance because the car doesn't capture the number plate of the car next to them, and that's simply because they parked the car nose out, so the camera is facing the other side. So it's something really important to keep in mind when you park. Always park nose in, and the boot or the trunk of the car should be outside. Tip number 10, using a handbrake. Now, if you're driving Tesla Model 3 and Model Y, you would hardly use this feature because first of all, it doesn't have a handbrake, like any visible handbrake. There's no buttons to put the car, use the handbrake of the car. Well, that's because most of the time you will never need to use the handbrake. But just in case, if you're parking on a steep driveway, then yes, there is an option to put the car, to use the handbrake of the car. Now I'm going to demonstrate how you enable that. It's pretty easy. You just need to hold the park button for 2 seconds, and that's it. It will put the handbrake on the car. Uh-oh. So let me show you how you can put the handbrake. Park the car. Well, not obviously when you're parking on a spot like this, you won't use it. But let's say if you're going to park on a very steep driveway, press and hold the park button, I think for 2 seconds, and you will see this icon here, park. If you park it, if you just normally click once, that icon is not visible. That means the car is in normal park. But if you press and hold, you can see the handbrake icon. So it's really handy if you are parking on a very on a slope or on a steep driveway. So these are the 10 tips, and I really hope that you found it really helpful. Thank you for watching the video.